Hello, Mario.
Oh, what the?
I guess we'll be waiting a long time. He won't be here on time.
Say it again?
I'm not sure when he'll be here, Mr. Ernie.
He went to a wedding.
No.
That's what he says.
I know. Well, I just don't know when he'll be back from that wedding. So.
It looks like Gerard did not have a stroke, right?
Who said that?
Harold spoke with him.
No, he had a mini stroke. The MRI
he
said
did?
that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just.
He just texted me. He's going to be released Wednesday. He says he'll be in show Thursday, Friday. He's nuts, but just
And
text me
Raza,
this.
you're coming to Minyan tomorrow, 6:15?
I should hope so.
Okay, well, let's hope we have a Minyan.
I know. I sure hope so. But
With
Gerard
Matt?
says, what's that?
With mass?
No more.
Good evening, Rabosai.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing? I'm sorry we missed our dinner.
Fine.
What can I say? We're more sorry than you are, I promise you.
I was looking forward to it.
What can I say? We'll do it. We'll table it. But we took all our grandchildren with us, and Bernie and Tammy, so we made up for it.
Very nice.
Oh, Ernie's, I was like, quick. You went to the wedding looking like that, Ernie. You look very elegant.
What was that?
You went to the wedding looking like that?
No.
Hey, Mario. Yeah, so I heard Jordan did have a stroke. This is get confusing information. Yeah, very small. That's the latest.
George who,
Yeah,
man?
exactly what I told
Gerard Einhorn.
Oh, poor guy.
How's he feeling?
I don't know. I just only spoke to him last night. He sounded okay, just a little weak from the COVID, but I haven't spoken to him since.
He just texted me about 10 minutes ago that he's coming home Wednesday. They're releasing him Wednesday.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
Daled Amid Aleph. Rabbi Shmuel Omer Mach Harish Rishus, just like plowing, there's no mitzvah to plow. Av Kotzir Rishus. Only the type of harvesting that is a Rishus would be Osir on Shemitah. Yatzak Ksira Omer Shi mitzvah. But for example, harvesting the Omer, you're even allowed to do that on Shabbos. El Amr of Nachman Yitzchak Miri Hilchasa. Why did we need Allah Lemishra Yalda? To permit a young tree. And Kroy, we needed the Psukim Lemeser Zakena to prohibit the old trees. Prior, we're talking about Toysefes Shemitah. Bekiven to Hilchasa Lemishra Yalda. So since you needed Allah Lamosh Messina specifically to permit the young ones, Memela's skin asir, that I don't need a pasuk for the skin. We would know that the skin is asir. Ella Hilchasel Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel said that the din of Tosefes is Allah Lamosh Messina, and Kroy is Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Akiva holds it's based on psukim. Rabbi Yechon Rabbi Gamliel Beis Dinu Midaraisa Botalahu. Rabbi Gamliel and his Bezdin were Mavatel Tosefes Shvius even Midaraisa. My time, huh? They learned a Hekesh. Gomar Shabbos Mi Shabbos Breishis. Malahalon Hiasura. Shabbos Breishis is Osir to do Malacha. But Friday and Sunday is permitted to do work. Afkan, right, by Shemitah, which is also called Shabbos. He asura, but lefaneu lachrei mutarim. That's how that there is no Tosefes because they learn from Shabbos Breishis that just like Friday and Sunday are mutter. The year before and the year after Shemitah are also mutter. Maski Ravashi Manda Mehilchasa Osik Zer Shava Ikra Hilchasa. Halach Moshe Messina is much stronger than Exer Shava. So Exer Shava is gonna come in and knock out Halach Moshe Messina. Umanda Makra Osik Zer Shava Akra Kra. And even worse, the Mandamar who held that it's based on Psukim, what Exer Shava is gonna come to uproot Psukim, can't do that. Elam Ravashi Regalil Vezino Sarvila Rabbi Shmuel Dama Hilchasa Gemirlo. That they Ravashi said that Rabbi Gamliel is Bezdin hold like Rabbi Shmuel that it's not Psukim, but rather it's Halach L'Moshe Messina that Asa the Toisefes. V'chi Gemiri Hilchasa Bizman Shebeis HaMikdash Kayim. The Halach L'Moshe Messina was pertinent when the Beis HaMikdash was extant. Dumya Denisa Chamayim, which was similar to the other limud that was learned in the Halach L'Moshe Messina of Nisa Chamayim, which only is operative when you have the Beis HaMikdash. Aval Zman Shein Beis HaMikdash Kayim Lo, and that's why we quoted the Halach in the Rambam yesterday, that Tosefes Shvius doesn't exist according to that opinion. Then the Mishnah said, Lo mi make shomim u mi akilon. You may not irrigate fields on Chol Moed because it's too much tircha for make shomim and make kilon. So bishul and make kilon. Make kilon is we have to use pails to schlep water. Iketircha yisera, so that's why we don't do it Chol Moed. It's too much tircha. Well, make shomim my tircha, but rainwater, they gather them themselves. You just have to sort of point them in the direction of the trees. You don't have to use pails. What kind of tircha is that? In fact, Mikra didn't make shamim is okay. They made exer make shamim not to, like as a low plug, since they did aserd make kilon, they aserd make shamim. Rav Ashi Yomer make shamim gufayu lidei make kilonasu. The rainwater is brought through pails, so it's got the same din. The kamif will give you the Rav Zera. And it's totally in the machlokes with Rav Zera. Rav Zera, Rav Yomi, Amar Shmuel. Naharas hamoshki maimin agamim. Rivers that bring water from ponds. Mutter lashkois mehen b'chol shemoy. They're always flowing, so that's not a problem in bringing water easily to the field. So you can do that on Chol Moed. So Mar Islid Rav Zera. Rav Ashi holds of Rav Zera, who aserd make shomim only because river water will stop. But if it doesn't stop, he's not goizer. Mar Leslie Rav Zera. It means it doesn't make a difference. The not learning like Rav Zera, the Gzera was Gzera make shomim otu make kilon. So then it makes no difference whether you have easy access water or not. The Gzera is the Gzera. So Gufa, let's analyze this machlokas a little bit more in detail. Amar Zera Rabba Bar Yirmi Amar Shmuel. Naras Hamoshki Maimin Agamim Mutter Lashkos Ben B'chol Shemoy. Rivers that bring water from lakes or ponds, so you can irrigate from that source because it's not poising, and therefore we're not concerned that you have to go use pails and schlep. It's Rav Yom Rav Zera. Avalomi make shamim, v'lomi make kilon. This said you can't use make shamim or make kilon. It's similar to the Naharos Hamoshki Maimin Agamim. Armale Yirmiyah Bri, Yirmiyah my son, Hani Agamim de Bavel, the Agams, the lakes or the ponds, Bavel is Kamai like Paskudomi. Is like unstopping, we're not choishesh that the water is going to lessen, you're going to have to bring with pails. You have pools, temporary ones that got filled with water Erev Yontiv. Also, you can't irrigate from them because we're concerned that they're going to run out of water. You have to bring water from somewhere else. But if there's running water that runs from there to there and into that thing, mutter. We're not worried that the water is going to give out. Amrav Papa, that's if the majority of the field irrigates from that Amma. We're not concerned that if the water stops flowing from that pool, we're going to have to bring water from somewhere else. He says, no, even if it doesn't irrigate the majority of the field. Even the Kamashchavas, as long as the water flows easily, Meimer Omar, people will say, if it's not irrigated in one day, it'll irrigate the day 2 or day 3. And he's not going to come to quickly be mashke the field and bring and schlep water. That's why Rav Ashi permits. You have a pool that's dripping into a field that needs irrigation. You can irrigate from that field to another Beis HaShalchin. But that seems like a very tenuous flow. And we said you shouldn't allow it if you think it's going to stop. We're talking about a case where the field is dripping constantly, doesn't stop. If it doesn't stop, that's why it's permitted. The original spring that's feeding the first Beis HaShalchin should have not stopped up. You have 2 rows, one above the other. You can't take pails of water from the bottom and bring to the upper. Too much tircha. You have 1 row. Part of the row is deep, is low, and part is high. Even in 1 row, you can't pail water from the lower to the upper. Too much tircha. However, if you have a vegetable patch, you can bring water from a pail if the purpose of the irrigation is because you want to eat the Yerokos on Chol Moed or Yontif. But if the purpose is to make it beautify, not to eat, Asr. Ravina Rava were traveling. They saw a man using a pail on Chol Moed, and that's Asr. Armalei Rava to Ravina, less Marlish, I'll put him into Cherem. We have a brayso that says a person can use a pail to irrigate a vegetable patch if his intent is to eat it. Omerle misar is my madlin. Madlin my who said that when they answered madlin, we meant pails of water. My madlin shalufi. You sort of weed through the vegetable paths as long as you're doing it because it's going to help the edible vegetables be eaten, but not for beauty. It's not a medel bagfanim. If you're pruning out grapes, he can do his private stuff. He can do that which belongs to Aniyim, the Rabbi Yehuda. It's too much tircha. Here we see that the language of Meidel doesn't mean pails of water, but actually sort of weeding out the field. We said beferish, Madlin Mayim is bringing water in a pail for vegetable. Listen, if you have a brayso, you have a brayso. We can't argue with the brayso. You cannot make like a moat around a grape patch. My ugis, I'm going to binki. Binki are these little, you dig out these moats surrounding grape plants. Fill it with water. Tanya Machi. Eluain ugyus, these are ugyus, but didin should be korizesiv, should be gefanim. These are like moats that are at the roots of olives or grapes to irrigate them. Whereas Zaini, it's not so varvir to shore livnei bartzi soil mevid banki lekarmeo. Rav Yehuda permitted his son to dig out these moats on Chol Hamoed. How could you say ein ois in gufius legfanim? You cannot build a new moat. But if it's an old one and you're just going to clean it out, that you can do. You can't build like an irrigation ditch. I understand you can't do it Chol Hamoed, it's too much tircha. El Shvi is my time. Why can't you do it Shemitah? By digging a trench, it looks like you're weeding a field. And people will think that you're working your field. Since you're going to dig and you're going to throw dirt on either side of the irrigation ditch, you're softening that dirt. You're making it easier for seeding. Can't seed on Shemitah. Might be that. What's the nafkamina between these two reasons? The moment you dug the Amma, all of a sudden it fills with water. Well, you're still dumping dirt on either side, and that's going to allow easier seeding. But there's no Mara sign that people are going to think you're weeding because everyone sees what's filling with water, and they know that the reason why you dug this trench was for water. One is worried that it makes it look like you're working the field. He also has to worry about the fact that you're softening the dirt, make it easier to seed. The nafkamina would be, he takes the dirt from the ditch that he's digging, and he doesn't throw it right next to the ditch where we have this concept that it makes it, it's like plowing. No, but he dumps the dirt far away. There is no worry anymore that it looks like you're softening the dirt and you're going to be able to seed in there because you're dumping the dirt far away. But you're digging the trench, people are going to think you're working your field. Now, the opinion that holds that the reason they answered is because it looks like you're making the dirt soft for seeding. Why isn't they worried that's Mars Ayin, that people look and they're going to think that you're working your field? So when a person is oider his field, he places the dirt carefully. But since this guy is dumping the dirt, he's throwing it away to a different place, it's clear that he's not doing the malacha of oider. A Maimer learned that the reason they aser digging a trench is because it looks like you're oider, which is this working the field by, sort of digging ditches. The Kashal Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. And they showed a stira, because Umiyam Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Kol Shen Yekoider Aser. Did Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah say that whenever it looks like oider, it's prohibited? Raminu. Oisa Adam Azivloi Oitzer. A person can take his fertilizer and put it in during Shemitah, he can pile it up in one place because he's not fertilizing now. So that's permitted. But Meir Oisrat Shiyamik Shloishet Tfachim. But Meir says you can't gather your fertilizer unless you dig a hole 3 Tfachim and dig it and put it there. Or Adshiak Bia Shloishet Tfachim. Or put it higher than 3 Tfachim. Hayla Dover Moed, Moisef Alach Voilech. If he has a small area of Zavel from Eretz Shvis, he can be Moisef on it, says Rav Meir. Rav Elazar ben Azariah Oisrat Shiyamik Shloisha. Rav Elazar says it's prohibited unless you dig it deep 3 Tfachim. You put it on a stone that has nothing to do with the field. So that the other Rabbi Azariah ben Azariah meant he just like he put the zevel in that place, he did the same thing by the oider. Since the zevel is there, it's mochiach, but that's the reason why he's digging it deep. Anything that's broken, any of these irrigation, you could fix it on Chol Hamoed. My mikul, what do you mean mikul kelis? There's only a tefach deep. You could dig it to make it 6 tefachim. Half a tefach deep and 3 tefachim wide. Given the loy over maya lo klumu. Water's not going to flow there, so it's nothing. 2 wide and 12 deep. Well, that's the katoch tircha yisera lo. That's too much tircha. Our shaila is tfachayim al shiva. You started off with 2 deep, and you want to dig it to 7. You only want to add 5 tfachim worth. Hacha chamisha kamamik v'hacha chamisha kamamik. Well, you only dug 5, and we said unless you go to 6, it's a problem. Since you end up with more than a tefach, more than 6, maybe it is considered a tirchan chol hamoed. Teiku, we have no answer. Abaye permitted the people of Baramda to take leaves out of the river on Chol Hamoed. This was because the tzibur needed the water. So it's a tzorach tzibur. Rav Yomi Sharlu Luvnei Sfachta Lemichla Nara Tmima. He permitted the people of his town to deepen their river so it flows better. Ravashi Sharlu Luvnei Masa Machsa Lagduchi Nar Burnitz. Ravashi Masa Machsa, which was his town, he permitted them to get rid of all the stuff that was plugging up the Nahar Burnitz. Since the public drinks from these waterways, it's for the purposes of Rabin, not a Yachidut. The Mishnah said very explicitly, on Chol Hamoed, you're allowed to do misak in anything that the public relies on. Okay. So tomorrow, regular time, 8 o'clock.